the call. All calls are recorded for training and monitoring purposes. To report a repair or discuss an existing repair, press 1. To make a payment using our automated payment line, press 2. To discuss your rent account, press 3. To talk to us about moving home or renting a garage, press 4. To talk to us about a shared ownership or leasehold home, press 5. To find out more about back-to-work support, training, or upcoming events, press 6. For all other inquiries, press 7. Thank you for calling Cross Keys Homes. Find up-to-date service information on our website, crosskeyshomes.co.uk. Did you know that you can manage your account online using MyCKH? Log in to pay your rent, report a repair, and much more. Please treat our teams with respect. We are here to help, but if you use aggressive or offensive language, we may end the call. All calls are recorded for training and monitoring purposes.
And joined up.
To repair or discuss an existing repair, press 1. To make a payment using our automated payment line. Thank you for calling Cross Keys Homes Repair Centre. You can report non-urgent repairs online at any time using MyCKH. Log in at crosskeyshomes.co.uk/MyCKH. We aim to offer you an appointment as soon as possible. Please be aware that for routine repairs it may be up to 28 days before someone is able to attend to your home. Please treat our teams with respect. We are here to help, but if you use aggressive or offensive language, we may end the call. All calls are recorded for training and monitoring purposes. To speak to our contractor about gas servicing and electrical testing appointments, please press 1. To speak to a member of our repairs team about a new or existing repair, please press 2.
My name's Chloe. Can I take the first line of the address?
Yeah, good afternoon, Chloe.
What can I help you with today?
Right, okay. I was, the plasterers came out yesterday to put the first bit of the plaster on.
Yep.
They couldn't complete the job yesterday. They've got to come back once it's dried out properly and that, because of the lack of heating in my house at the moment, where I've had to buy a mobility scooter. So I'm a little bit under on my gas allowance at the moment, so I can't heat my home properly unless I'm using an oil-filled radiator at the moment. So that's the reason for that. I showed them yesterday the state of the mildew in the property as well, which has come back with a vengeance after it being painted over. What's actually running down the walls at the moment is the resin from the paint that was painted over the mildew, right? And I've videoed evidence of it already. This is in my bedroom as well, where I'm having to sleep with my lung problems. Okay. The reason they asked me to contact you again and put in the information I'm going to give you is because the double glazing team that came out to do the double glazing to replace the front door and that, they didn't put they took photographs of it yesterday anyway, so you'll be able to see the photographs of it. But the trim that goes down the opening side of the door, the lock side of the door, needs to be put on by the double glazing people. They couldn't do it because they had to wait for the plasterers first.
Right.
Yeah, and they said, am I happy with that when Clearview went? I said, well, it's not my house. So, in my opinion, I'm glad to have a door back on there and that. So, yeah, thank you very much for your help. you know, and left it like that. And the plasterers is having a bit of a, yeah, well, they're like that. They're just quick in, out, gone. So you'll need to ask Cross Keys to recontact them to come out and finish the job. I've also got wiring outside that's exposed to the weather that should be underneath the double glaze stuff as well, which is just loosely hanging outside my front door and still connected to the power source.
Right.
If you see what I mean. So that shouldn't be exposed, because if it's been sitting behind the double glazing that was originally put in, obviously it could be broken in places or pinched in places or whatever, and it might not have safe casing around the wiring, mightn't it? If you see what I mean. So that's just sort of hanging there outside the front door. And it has been since the door was replaced. The plasterer didn't want to touch around the light socket or do anything further to it, because then he would have had to have waited to do that first bit of the job by getting an electrician out to come and do that, and it was just going to mess up his little bit where he had to do there as well, which I was quite happily doing that yesterday. You know, so he said he'll be back another day to skim over the underplaster. And I said, yeah, no problem. I said, I've been sociable with you and everything else. I've been accused of being antisocial. I explained my medical condition to him and that, and so he was aware, that I am like I am, but I'm still being sociable, not trying to be difficult or anything. And I also have dogs in the house. I said, so my priority is basically keeping an eye on my dogs while you get on with your work and that. He met my dogs, and the dogs was fine with him. They was just a bit nosy and curious, but I kept them in my bedroom, on my bed where I am at the moment, and they're all still laying here at the moment. So there's no problems with the dogs. I've been accused of being antisocial with my dogs, which Cross Keys are fully aware of how the neighbours have been manipulating the situation over the years anyway. I also pointed out to the plasterers yesterday, as I was being kept an eye on by that said clique of neighbours, right, as they casually walked past, yeah, with their dogs, their little dogs. I said, can you see all the mud up on the front wall by the security camera there? He said, yeah, who's doing that then? I said, well, I don't know. I haven't actually caught them because my camera's not set to record all the time. Only if I feel threatened, I can record from my mobile device. Right? So that just tells you that I'm not recording my neighbours or anything. I've had a little incident today where I'm being electronically manipulated, right? And I've already said to Cross Keys that if my security cameras get interfered with when I'm feeling anxious after being triggered with my PTSD and my cameras start acting up, then the fact that they've had access to my password to my router would mean it could be Cross Keys interfering with my electronic devices in the house. And I made that very clear to Cross Keys as well when they came and did their stock check. Right? So I'm just making sure that that's all in this recorded message as well, because I discussed it all with the plasterer yesterday. while we was having a bit of builders banter. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I said, I do miss the old banter off the sites and all that, you know what I mean? But unfortunately, I'm disabled nowadays, so I can't go back to doing anything like that. I'm unfit to work or serve at the moment because of what's been done to me. So I was completely honest with him, and he said, well, what was all that about? I said, I'm getting a lot of attention from the security services, the police. Yeah, what can I say? They set me up and put me in prison, hid evidence and everything to put me in prison, including cross keys, if you see what I mean. So I'm being civil with everyone, letting everybody know that, yeah, I know what's going on. I've just tried to check on my security camera after being triggered by electronic interference online. I logged in, well, I just opened my cameras up, and as soon as I tried to look up the road to make sure there weren't no spooks in cars sitting there or police sitting there, waiting for me to react or whatever, my security camera blacked out while I was using it. Now that's definitely electronic interference and manipulation of my security devices, what are there for my personal protection. Because an attempt was made on my life by the next door neighbour, and that's why I asked Cross Keys if I could put the cameras up in the first place.
Yeah.
Right, so it's all in your recorded message here. But that's what the builders actually asked me to do, was to put in an about the trim for the door for the double glazing people to come back. I'm just explaining the whole thing to you while it's in a recorded messages for security or training or whatever. Yeah, I know it's also for joinder, the reason that phone calls are recorded by companies, but we won't go into that. I'm just stating for yourselves what's going on at the moment, okay, and letting you know what needs to be done to the property. Okay, are you happy with that?
Yep. Yeah, fine, yeah, it's all there.
Okay, lovely, thank you very much. So you need to contact Clearview to get them to come out and do the trim. It's only one piece of trim that needs to go down there. And then the plasterer can put the second coat of plaster over and skim it and finish the job off for you.
No problem.
Okay. In the meantime, I'm disabled, laying on my bed, and I'm having the psychological problems. I've been triggered today. I was fully aware that I was being listened to by next door. And I could hear the mumbling coming through the wall. And also so could my dog, which I was videoing at the time, while he was reacting to it. So yeah, it's just so you're aware of what's going on around me as well.
Yes, of course.
Okay, I've got a medical condition. I can't do anything about it. It's been confirmed now medically. I've next got to update all that information with the government for my disability claim, while I work out what sort of care and that I need. I've had a guy that's been coming up to, who's been on call to, if I'm having an episode or whatever, or if I'm being triggered by something, he'll come straight up, just be in the house to see if I'm actually having an episode or if I'm being deliberately triggered by others to play on that fact and distract me while I try and get myself well. Okay?
Yeah.
All right, so I'm trying to work out whether I need a living carer, a part-time carer, or just somebody on call and that at the moment, while we work out what caring that I need moving forward in this situation. But I was given this disabled bungalow as a disabled person, and my disability's getting worse. Spare bedroom tax is nothing to do with it. I pay my spare bedroom tax directly to the landlords each month. So everything's cool on that side of it. Are you happy with all this and the way I've explained it to you? Does it make sense to you? Because I am medicated.
Absolutely.
I'm just,
Yeah.
going on a spiral at the moment after being triggered with the anxiety from the electronic interference to my security cameras. I couldn't even see properly if there was any threat outside my front door because my cameras were being interfered with after being locked out of one of my social media accounts for posting information to that as well about it. So yeah, there's a lot of stuff going on.
Okay.
I shouldn't be anxious, but I'm being deliberately triggered, which is torture. Yeah. Okay. If I find out it's the state doing it, or using agencies to do it, I will react to the state, not to an individual, and I will take it upon myself to use my ability to punish the state. So they're highly aware of that because of what happened when I was in prison, when I took out all their security cameras and everything in there when I was trying to escape from prison.
Right.
Okay, so, and they knew I did it because they had it all on recorded phone calls. Okay, and they can't put me in prison if you see what I mean, because if they put me in a higher category prison and that happens, then all them dangerous people running about, they're going to have a major problem on their hands, aren't they? Escapes and everything. Yeah, and they don't want that, do they? And they don't want the same outcome as what happened to the top of the tree at the end of when I'd finished lashing out at the state last time. So we don't want to go down that route again because the state got punished last time and it's now history. It really happened. Okay? All right then, I'll leave you in peace to get on with your working day and that. I don't mean to overburden you with all this information because it probably makes me sound a little bit wonky, but I have spoken the truth to you. Okay?
Okay.
All right then, you have a lovely day at work. All right, thank you very much for listening. Thank you.
Bye.
There, I didn't need to. Yeah, they've even been fucking about with the home phone. It's constantly got new messages on it when there's no messages on there. So that's phone tapping, isn't it? Messages that aren't there when it says there's messages there. So I'm not even going to bother looking at that. And that's constantly on my phone. So that's the home phone, the smartphone, the other smartphone. The microphone was taken out in an attempt to silence me. Yeah. I should be in a very triggered state, and I'm starting to get a frigging headache now as well. You know what I mean? So, yeah. This is state torture. It's gonna stop. I'm not having it.